Have y'all ever wondered about what if Jak and Daxter, Sly Cooper, and Ratchet and Clank, all three had a crossover? Well, it wasn't until recently that I actually found out that actually was the case back in the day. Yeah, that was actually a case back in the day with PlayStation Move Heroes. Hey from Just Be here from McRae, and we're back to a new 1203 Barrett TV Revival episode. And yeah, in this episode, I'm going to be talking about that said game that came out back in the day that actually featured Sly Cooper, Jak and Daxter, and Ratchet and Clank as well. And yeah, it was in 2011 on the PlayStation 3. And yeah, quite an interesting concept, I would definitely say. Having three iconic franchises, right? Like Jak and Daxter, Sly Cooper, and Bentley from Sly Cooper, and of course, Ratchet and Clank. All having to work together in this game. Which, yeah, really interesting looking game, I would definitely say. And yeah, of course, them being the heroes being abducted and having to compete as well. Like, we've seen different types of games that have this different concept, and this one's a quite interesting one, I would just say. And just looking at the review, or the ratings, the ratings from IMDb is a 6.9 out of 10, and from IGN, it was a 5 out of 10. But yeah, again, I was actually told if I could do this game recently, which, sad to say, I won't be able to do it because, yeah, you need a certain accessory. Or, I say accessory. You need something to actually play it, which is a PlayStation Move kind of thing. Which, yeah, obviously I do not have. But I do like the concept of this, though. And, yeah, I'm sure the person is disappointed, of course. I mean, hey, there's not a whole lot of things I'm not able to do, I would just say. But really cool to just see the whole concept of these things, right? And yeah, just to think that there's a game that was actually made that had all three of these franchises. Sadly, one is still surviving, I would say. Sadly, two of the three, is no longer, being supported. Or nothing's happened in years for these games. And again, I'm referring to, Jak and Daxter and Sly Cooper. Yeah, we have not had anything new for Jak and Daxter and Sly Cooper in years. I mean, yeah, Sly Cooper obviously had his fourth game and the last game of Sly Cooper to come out in 2013. And again, this game was 2011, but still. And of course, Jak and Daxter's last game wasn't until, in the early 2000s when it came to The Lost Frontier. But again, that was it for them. And, Ratchet and Clank is sadly the only one of the three of, these three that appeared in this crossover game has survived. But yeah, it's really cool to actually know about this game. Which, yeah, is quite surprising that I actually just found out about this game very recent. Very, very cool to actually see, though. Three franchises, three of my favorite video game franchises actually having a crossover with each other. Like, imagine if they had all three of these characters, and including Crash and Spyro as well. The PlayStation characters, right? Having the other PlayStation characters. I mean, yeah, I do know that, Sly Cooper, Jak and Daxter, and Ratchet and Clank are PlayStation exclusive, right? But still, and I know Crash and Spyro ain't anymore, but still, they were originally PlayStation. Right? They were originally PlayStation, so why not, right? But yeah, I'd like to know what y'all think. again, I'm sure a lot of y'all would be quite surprised and shocked to know that, again, this was my first time actually finding out that there was a crossover like this. But yeah, I'd like to know what y'all think. Let me cross the flow. Get to the next one. And also, let's just hope, I still really am hoping that Sly Cooper and Jak and Daxter will return one day. Because seriously, we do need a new game for both of them. Both of these franchises. Obviously, Ratchet and Clank, from what I have been hearing, from what I've heard, the next game is in development. You know, that comes after Rift Apart. Is in development and most likely will not release until 2029. But yeah, when it comes to Jak and Daxter, I don't know how they have just been left into dust. I mean, you know how Sony is, of course. And yeah, of course, back in the day, and we recently just got this news, of course, but talking about the whole Jak and Daxter remake pitch, that Sanzaro Games actually made, right, a cutscene that they've made of Daxter turning into an Oxel, right, in the first game, in a remade style that Sanzaro actually pitched for Sony, but of course Sony saying no. Like, of course Sony would do that. That's how Sony is nowadays. But, again, I really do hope that these two franchises see the light of day once again. Like, we really do. Especially, with Sly Cooper still trapped in ancient Egypt. But, yeah, I'd like to